Xiao Naiwa, the little baby he once held with one arm, has now grown into a man even taller than him. Not only did he rise to the rank of general, but he also developed an obsessive love for him. Their reunion after more than 10 years apart wasn't pleasant. The young man was forcibly injected with a drug to change him from A to H and was held down for a temporary mark. Only then did the young man realize that the kid he'd always thought was a girl was actually a boy. He remembers their first meeting, when the little baby was squatting by the door crying. "Hey, why are you crying? Come here, let me hold you." As soon as he picked him up, he heard the little one's stomach growling with hunger, so he made him a big bowl of noodles. After that, he tended to his own wounds from his mission. The little one ran over and sweetly asked if it hurt, and he joked that a tease would make it stop hurting, and the little one actually kissed him. He was so happy then, felt like he'd been healed by a little angel. Though the little one was sent to his home as a hostage, he was very dependent on and close to this stranger. He even asked in his sweet little voice to sleep together. The young man couldn't bear to refuse, so he picked up the little one with one hand and walked to the bed, and took out a rabbit his mother had sewn to cheer him up. The little one was so cute he naturally assumed it was a girl, so he gave up the bed and slept on the floor himself. Later something happened to his family, and he couldn't take the little one with him. The little one cried and begged him not to abandon him, but back then he could barely protect himself, and taking him along would have been a death sentence. "Sheng, don't leave me behind." The childish crying woke Xie Yusheng from his dream, and the pain at the back of his neck reminded him that Qi Wangji had just marked him. So everything Qi Wangji is doing to him now, is this revenge for not taking him along back then? Then he remembered he'd been injected with a drug, so is he really going to turn into a delicate old? Even if he becomes an old, he's got to find a way to escape first. As he picked up a vase to smash the glass window, a cute robot came running over to remind him. "I am household robot number 2633. This window uses high-density nanotechnology. A vase attack won't work and you might hurt yourself." Xie Yusheng threatened the robot. "If you keep yapping, I'll format you and yank out your battery." Suddenly he heard the door opening. "You've got some nerve showing your face." Furious, Xie Yusheng threw the vase right at Qi Wangji's head. What surprised him was that the leader of the lion squad couldn't even dodge a simple sneak attack. Qi Wangji touched his bleeding head, and the next second burst into tears like a little kid. Xie Yusheng was startled by his crying. "You're a grown man, why are you crying?" After hearing that, Qi Wangji pitifully told him it hurt. Xie Yusheng clenched his fists. "I got turned into an O and I didn't cry." "What do you have to cry about? Hold it in." Qi Wangji obediently stopped crying, but then came over to hug him and act cute. "Sheng, it hurts, kiss it better." Xie Yusheng's heart skipped a beat. Isn't that what he used to say to little Qi Wangji when they were kids? The strongest alpha on earth. At night his mind is only 6 years old. He cries easily and is super clingy. Even with his head cracked open and crying from pain, he still clings to him. Xie Yusheng doesn't understand what Qi Wangjia is trying to do. During the day he did such shameless things to him, and at night he dares to act cute like nothing happened. "You better believe I'll beat you up right now." Qi Wangji didn't say anything, but his big eyes quickly filled with tears. Then he buried himself in Xie Yusheng's arms, crying his heart out. "Sheng is being mean to me." This shameless attitude made Xie Yusheng even angrier. He raised his fist ready to punch, but the robot quickly ran over to intervene. "Sir, please show mercy. The master is only like this because he's sleepwalking." Xie Yusheng obviously didn't believe it. You ever seen someone sleepwalking who doesn't wake up after getting the head cracked open? The robot immediately pulled up Qi Wangji's medical records from recent years. The master has long sleepwalking disorder. Once he enters sleepwalking state, it's very hard to wake. If you don't believe me, listen to his breathing pattern. Yusheng listened carefully for a few seconds. It was indeed the steady and slow breathing pattern of someone asleep. The robot continued. "When the master sleepwalks, his intelligence and memory stay at around 6 years old, and you actually hit a defenseless child." Xie Yusheng glanced at the broken head in his arms. Whether it was his conscience bothering him or his inability to just leave him like this, he reluctantly bandaged Qi Wangji's wound. But that doesn't mean he forgave Qi Wangji for what he did to him. So he slapped Qi Wangji again. "Go back to your room and sleep tonight. Tomorrow when you wake up, we'll settle this." But Qi Wangji held on to him and refused to leave, insisting on sleeping with him like when they were kids. But Xie Yusheng wasn't falling for the cute act anymore. He expressionlessly dragged Qi Wang toward the door to toss him out. The robot indignantly called him a bad guy, and the next second he was also kicked out of the room. Qi Wangji stood dumbly at the door, finally curling up carefully by the door and falling asleep. The robot at the door tilted its little head. Why didn't the master take his sleepwalking medicine tonight? The next morning Xie Yusheng was back to tapping and banging around the room. The robot reminded him this room is completely sealed. Without the master's permission you can't get out. The former general and current international fugitive wasn't about to be trapped here, and the biggest obstacle to his escape was this robot that could transmit data and snitch. So he stuck the robot to the wall, then cheerfully yanked out its battery. After that he climbed into the ventilation duct in the ceiling. He just didn't expect the vent would pass through the conference hall. And even less that he was the main topic of this meeting. Boss has plenty of ways to help him. Why does he have to turn him into an O? This brings up Xie Yusheng's glorious past. At 17 he led the Lion Flag in wiping out the Eastern Rebel stronghold. At 18 he became the youngest general in Federation history. But the good times didn't last. His father was later framed and reported, and his parents died in that deliberate fire. Xie Yusheng, who was away on a mission, was accused of fleeing with the new drug EL, and a certain high-ranking official death. So for over a decade, all factions have been hunting Xie Yusheng, trying to test if he has EL samples and study them. Qi Wangjia obviously won't let that happen. "My identity is too high profile. The best way to protect him is to turn him into my O. But the A2O drug will not only change his appearance, but even if other factions suspect, They won't dare make a move given my rank as general. Though Xiao Yusheng knows Qi Wangjia is protecting him, thinking about becoming an O still doesn't sit right with him, and his eavesdropping was already seen through by Qi Wangji. He stopped pretending and jumped down from the vent. Looks like the couple has business to discuss. The red-haired and black-haired subordinates tactfully prepared to leave. The clueless blonde guy stood there ready to watch the show. Qing Yu kindly gave him a big punch, then expressionlessly dragged him out. Xiao Yusheng didn't think a few bowls of noodles he made for Tu Wangji as a kid would make Tu Wangji help him this much. Tie Wangji was frank. I'm rescuing you because I received orders from above. I'll provide you shelter, but you need to provide blood and tissue data every month. Xiao Yusheng agreed to cooperate, but he also had two conditions. First, he wants to join the Lion. Second, he wants to know who gave the order. Qi Wangjoy agreed to both, then handed Xiao Yusheng new identity information. The content was basically about his and Tu Wangji's love story. But what's the deal with this kid? What kind of soap opera plot is this? Where did we get a kid? Qi Wangji reassured him. This is written to make things more believable. Just memorize this. I'll handle the rest. What Xiao Yusheng didn't know was that he and Qi Wangji actually do have a child, and a very cute one too. Sheng acts cute asking for kiss, but then slaps Wangji afterward. At this moment, Qing Yi was drooling over Xiao Yusheng's photo. He's top grade, but I'm afraid the boss will kill me. The blonde guy came chasing over cursing. You just left my room and you're already picking your next target. And you got this huge board to choose from. Furious, he started banging his head against the board. I'll show you. I'll show you. Qing Yi is a cyborg and can't understand human emotions. But the blonde guy just happens to like this cyborg. When he warned Qing Yi not to go after anyone else, she got the same cold response as always. Remember to pay for my board. Just then Lin Xuan called. Get over here quick so we can take them on together. So both groups came to demand Ji hand over the person. Eagle Flag was on Xiao Yusheng's side. Sheng's case was a setup. I'd like to see who dares take him today. Bear Flag wasn't backing down either. We're here on behalf of General Shu to arrest someone. Anyone who tries to stop us better watch out. Qi Wangji couldn't hand over Shi Yusheng, but this standoff would only bring more suspicion. So he allowed both teams to search the room, but they'd have to deal with the consequences themselves. Bear Flag's people were first to open the door. The moment the door opened, a lion burst out and bit down on the shoulder of the guy who opened. But considering the lion belonged to Qi Wangji, the red-haired guy didn't dare order them to kill it. Qi Wangji called it off. Big cat, don't eat weird stuff. The lion immediately became obedient and stood to the side. Then a figure walked out of the room. The red-haired guy nervously put his men on alert. Eagle Flag's boss shouted Sheng. When he saw the person's face clearly, Eagle Flag's boss threw up on the spot. Bear Flag's side was also shot stiff. This dark and pockmarked person. How could this be the imposing general from their memory? Qing Yi hiding behind the small table with speech. How did he make himself this ugly? Ling Shuang was so bored he'd started growing mushroom. When are we actually going to fight? Don't let the ugly looks fool you. This thing is a master at acting cute. Oh, stop it, making me meet your friends this early. I'm not ready yet. Eagle Flag's people were so disgusted they turned and left. Bear Flag's boss was also disgusted but still persisting. How do you prove? He's your O. The ugly thing cutely tapped Qi Wangji's chest, then puckered up his bright red lips. At this moment, Xiao Yusheng was cracking. You said I'm your O. It's your lie, so no matter how disgusting, you better commit to it. Come on, kiss me already. But the next second, he was kissed. The red-haired guy and his subordinates were shocked, and this kiss happened to trigger Xiao Yusheng's heat cycle. The strong wine scent forced the red-haired guy to believe this dark, ugly thing really was an O. Besides the O's pheromones, Qi Wangji's pheromones also started spilling out, making everyone around struggle to breathe. Only cyborg Qing Yu and Beta Lin Xuan remained unaffected. Then Qi Wangji noticed Xiao Yusheng's disguise was wearing off. He pulled him into his arms, then glared coldly at Bear Flag's people. How much longer are you going to watch? Bear Flag's people had confirmed this person wasn't Xiao Yusheng, so they timidly left supporting their injured. Then Qi Wangji glared at Qing Yi hiding behind a small table. Qing Yi immediately grabbed Lin Xuan who was still growing mushrooms around. After everyone left, Xiao Yusheng slapped Qi Wangji across the mouth. You actually kissed that. You dare take advantage of me. Qi Wangji didn't argue back, just stared with his cute big eyes as Sheng pinched his face to vet. After pinching for a while, his anger subsided. Xie Yusheng turned and told the robot to bring the suppressant. The robot sitting by the lion eating fruit tilted its head. I don't know what you're talking about. Who would have thought the little baby who only knew how to act cute and ask for hugs would grow into a cold general who doesn't even know how to smile? At this moment, Qi Wangji bit down on Xie Yusheng's gland. Temporary marking is the most effective way to ease heat cycle pain, but Xie Yusheng struck hard, slamming Qi Wangji heavily against the wall. I only see you as a brother. Don't ever do that again. I already have someone I like. Xie Yusheng finished and went upstairs in a huff, while Qi Wangji sat lost and empty on the floor. The robot came over to comfort him. Master, didn't we agree not to make any sudden moves? In the room, Xiao Yusheng gave himself the suppressant, then picked up his communicator to check news about Qi Wangji, and his ugly photo was undoubtedly the biggest news. Oh come on, I don't believe Captain Q would fall for this ugly thing. You guys think Captain Q looks at his own gorgeous face every day but can't